Okay, hi everyone. I'm finally going to go through the results of whether you could tell which photo was a 5D Mark II or a Canon 550D, both with different lenses on them. If you haven't seen that video, if you haven't been to the Facebook group and seen the images, stop watching this video now, and I'm going to put the photos onto the blog page down below. So click on that and then you can see that and you can make up your own decisions there. However, if you have looked at the images and you have left your comments, that's cool. I'm tallying them all up just now to see which one is which. So one little honesty thing here is I can't remember which one is which. So from my point of view, I've looked, the first one we're going to go through is the bathroom shot. So here, image number one, bathroom. Now, I think I remember I was shooting these images at ISO 1250 around about. And there's definitely two images. There's a tiny change in width, but I can't really tell the difference. So for me, looking at the images on Facebook, I'm trying to see what would be the defining factor of what it is. Can't remember. So I'm going to go with so I've tallied up all your answers at the side, and also you've left comments on the actual posting as well. So there's been quite a lot. So if these were the two images here, one was kind of a little bit brownier, the other one turned out to be a little bit greener. I think that must have just been where the eyedropper was when correcting the white balance, or potentially lenses have a different amount of certain color wavelengths getting into the sensor. Don't know, don't really care either. So for this one, in the kind of group comments here, we got a total of saying the brown image, we got only 3 comments saying that was the 5D Mark II. And the most amount of comments, which was a 5, 6, 7, say it's a 550D for that one. Over here on the right, we got much more people saying it was the 5D, and we got 8 people saying it's the 5D versus 3 people saying it was the 550D. So definitely you are saying that there's a difference. That was also confirmed when I went into the actual images and you guys were leaving comments on the actual images. The brown one here, only 4 comments saying it was the 5D, but 9 comments saying it was the 550. And over here, 5D again, a full 15 comments on this one saying that was the 5D, and only 3 saying it's the 550D. So massive, this one's definitely the 550D. The thing is, I can't quite remember, so I'm having to go back into the files and see what they are. So what we're seeing here is this image, which is, which one's which? Okay, so the browner one, people, you are correct. That one was ISO 800 with the Canon 550D, and the other one, which is kind of a little bit greener, was with the 5D Mark II. So the majority of you got that correct. Well done. So somehow most of you were able to figure out that there was a difference between the two photos. Maybe it was just the focal length being the slight difference between an 11mm on a Canon crop compared to a 60mm on the Canon full frame. Okay, now we'll look at the next image. Okay, so the next challenge was this kind of shot of a living dining room area, and this one is a little bit more complicated. So on this one, it's hard to tell which one is which. So one's a little bit cooler, the other one's a little bit warmer white balance. So, but in terms of their actual image, they're pretty close to each other. Hard to tell. For me, just now, I'm just going, can't see difference. So in general, the cooler image, this one, got a total of 6, 7 saying it was the 5D. However, it got 10, 11, 12 saying it was the 550D. Okay, and then the warmer one, which is this one, we got a whopping 10, 15, 16, 17 saying it was the 5D, and only 6 saying it was the crop. So time to go in and figure out which one was which. Okay, and how am I going to figure this one out? Okay, this one has much less bit there. So let's see. Oh, right, okay, I had to totally double check there. Looks like the majority of you were once again correct. So the one with the small bit was indeed the 5D Mark II, and the one with the bigger bit was the Canon 550d. And as you can see, I've got the Tokino lens on it, which is actually a Nikon mount. Just used a little adapter on it, and that's why we've got no details up here there. So well done, everyone, again, bravo. And the last one, which was the one which got the most amount of comments on it, it was a simple shot inside the bedroom. Again, the white balance is slightly different, and the focal lengths are maybe a little bit different as well. But in general, I've gone through all of these. This got a whopper amount of comments and guesses on this. So good work, everyone there. So the one on the left, which if we go here, looks fine. Let's see the one on the right. Yeah, okay, so the one on the left, this one got 14 saying it was the cropped camera. It got 17 saying it was the full frame camera. Very close, very close. The next image, this one, a little bit warmer one, this one got 13 saying it was the cropped camera, and it got 12 saying it was the full frame camera. Oh. So, let's find out which one it was. Let's see. So, unfortunately, it seems like everyone was wrong. Well, not everyone. It seems like it was not as people thought. So the one which is not quite as good, is a little bit blurry. This one I think had a little bit of camera shake to it. This one was the full frame 16mm or 35mm camera, but 16mm lens in there. And the other one, which is actually sharper, was when it's at 11mm, and that's with the cropped sensor camera. So that one threw everyone. So I would say, Facebook group, well done. You got 2 out of 3 correct. What I would like to say though, as an additional point to all of this, is that some of you have already mentioned this, is that it doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't matter what camera that you have. If the person behind the actual camera taking the photo doesn't have the skills or the practice or the experience of knowing how to take a good image in the first place, it doesn't really matter what camera that you've got. In this is a perfect example where if one lens is a little bit sharper or correctly focused, or is at an aperture and focal length where it means more of the image is in proper sharpness compared to a full frame camera where you've actually got a shallower depth of field because you're having to use a 16mm instead of a 10mm lens, then yeah, the photographer isn't going to be taking better pictures because they've got a better camera or even a better lens. They could actually effectively be making worse images because they don't understand the fact that with the longer focal length, with 16mm being the widest that you can get, that effectively you are diminishing the amount of acceptable depth of field whenever you're shooting an image. So that's why I would say actually sometimes for internal photography, a crop sensor camera, as long as you've got a wide enough lens, will actually do the job better than a full frame camera. If you're in low light and you're having to shoot at like f2.8 or f4, around about there. But it also gives a good idea that in terms of whenever people are exporting images, if your main source of photography is to take photos for fun because you enjoy doing it and posting them up on Facebook or Twitter or Flickr or any kind of photo sharing website, spending £2,000, £3,000 worth of money on camera gear won't necessarily make people go, oh yes, he's definitely been using better camera gear. There's a high chance that a lot of people, nobody can tell the difference. And I suspect that a lot of the time the people that can tell the difference in this, we're looking more at the focal length rather than any discernible image differences or image quality differences between one photo or the next. So think of this video not so much more of a, oh look at how crap big cameras are, but more think about, do I really think I will benefit from the full frameness of a full frame camera? If you're shooting at ISO settings of around 800 or what was it, 1200 I went up to, are you really going to get that much of a benefit? Granted, and for sure, if you're going to super high ISOs, the fuller frames certainly potentially have better ISO capabilities, or it's certainly image quality can be enhanced when you're going to the extreme ends of what the sensor is capable of capturing. However, if your photos are just general location, portraits, nice people, stuff like that, and you're not really pushing the boundaries of your camera, you probably don't need to be spending vast quantities of money on upgrading your kit for what might not be any discernible increase in image quality for your work. Hope that helps. Cheers. Bye-bye.